Do you like my outfit? It's very pink. I like it. I love this song. Believe I believe I'm meant to be. Jealousy, jealousy. It's February. Valentine's Day is coming up. Love is in the air. Actually, no. Love is not in the air. Oxygen and carbon dioxide is. We all knew a kid like that. They were very irritating. Anyway, I decided that I'm going to do a 24-hour reading challenge again, but with a twist. I can only read books where the front cover is red, pink, or white because those are the colors that are associated with Valentine's Day. I don't know. It's February, so I'm trying to be pink. You know, I'm trying to look like a brunette Barbie. Without further ado, let me show you the 4 books that I'm planning on reading. The Do-Over, Behind the Red Door, Girl in Pieces, and am I a 12-year-old boy? And The Scarlett Letter. This is the first book I'm going to read. It's just a light, easy, fun thing to let myself get into. From the reviews, it seems like people are obsessed with this book or they hate it. There's no in between. So let's see what we think. These individuals believe in fate and soulmates. That's me. Maybe I'm just being delusional, but why does my acne kind of look pretty? Maybe it's because I've had raging cystic acne for so many years that the thought of seeing myself with clear skin stresses me out. So if I have a little bit of a breakout, I'm like, I like this. From a distance, it kind of looks like I just have freckles, but no, it's acne scars. This side as well. Hot girls have had acne or currently have acne. I don't make the rules.
After living through a dumpster fire of a Valentine's Day, Emily gets stuck in some sort of time loop nightmare where she re-watches her boyfriend cheat on her day after day. She starts feeling like she can do whatever she wants without consequence. But what happens when the universe stops giving out do-overs?
Why is this actually kind of funny? She's just been cheated on, which I already knew because I read the synopsis. I love my grandma. This book is reminding me of Freaky Friday, where they eat something and then swap bodies, but in this case, she ate the pepper soup and now she's gonna go back and redo the day over and over again until she realizes that Nick is her one true love. That's my birthday. That's my birthday. When I was younger, I really wanted to do over my life because I thought I could change the fate of things that happened. But now, no, you couldn't pay me to redo my life. You can't change what's happened, and even if you redid it, things would still find a way to happen anyway. This is like a Shrek the Third and a Freaky Friday fanfiction, and no one can convince me otherwise.
Side eye!
Ew, she's just put her hand in the toilet. From the way I'm laying, I can hear the heartbeat in my ears, like it matches up with my pulse. I don't even know if I'm gonna leave this in, but I need to get off my chest. Why do so many people only care about me when I've moved on, or they think that I don't care about them anymore? I think the idea of us together was so good that we both might have forced it. And they all lived happily ever after. The Do-Over, my review. I personally don't like rating books because I think opinions change. I actually liked the start, but when she got to the final day or whatever, it was so boring. So yes, I will admit, I skimmed through it quite rapidly. Am I gonna go out and buy a physical copy? No. But it gave me a little bit of insight into a couple of things. Why do I look like a dead corpse? Okay, it's 3:30 in the afternoon. I'm getting changed now into my pajamas, and I need to lay down before I start reading the next book. She's a mammoth. I just had the worst sleep of my entire life. I was having such weird dreams, and I didn't like it. Behind the Red Door, a review. I have my food, and we're gonna do a review. I didn't want to do a reading vlog because I just did that like 2 seconds ago. Instead, I just took some notes because not that you care, but I talk about a lot of things that aren't important. I'm also ravenously hungry. 1 second. Okay, let me tell you what the story is about. So years and years and years ago, this 14-year-old girl named Astrid was taken, locked in a basement by a masked man, and then dumped on the side of the road with a needle in her arm. He didn't do the typical things of what kidnappers usually do. Her captor was never found. In the present day, she released a memoir called Behind the Red Door because what she remembers about being locked in the basement was that there was a red door. She also talks about how there was this little girl. Astrid took it upon herself to look after this girl, and she writes about her in her memoir. But the thing is that the girl was never found. No one ever reported the little girl missing. In fact, it's like the little girl never existed. Police and therapists told Astrid, they said, no, you didn't actually see a little girl. What you saw was a hallucinogenic coping mechanism. Basically, the whole book alludes to the idea that our main character is the little girl. And everyone is like, no, you're not, like, but she is, because she's the main character, so like obviously. Her name is Fern, and I believe she's a middle school counselor. Her dad would always be like, Fern, I'm a good dad. I never hurt you. I never abused you. I never laid a hand on you. But he did such other weird stuff. He would do what he called his fear experiments. Basically, he would scare the living daylights out of her and then be like, let's study it. Let's study your fear. How did you feel? She had arachnophobia, so he taped a jar full of house spiders next to her bedside table, so when she woke up, she'd just see these spiders next to her. One time he was in the kitchen, he was holding a bloody rag to his arm, and he was screaming wildly like he cut himself. And then Fern was like, and then he was like, joke's on you, it's just pain. He only paid her attention when it was to scare her or discuss her fear. That is so messed up, but in his mind, he's like, I never physically bashed you up, meaning I'm a good dad, you know. She's a counselor, and yet she herself is like, I'm not traumatized, I have no neglect, because in her mind, neglect is just houses with flies, kids eating cat food. I'm like, if you're a counselor, you should have a broader horizon, I think. She gets scared about the woods, so he takes her inside the woods and tells her a story about how this couple were lost and were starving, the wife passed out. The man then ate the unborn child because the wife was pregnant because he was so hungry. He told his like little kid this while they were standing in the woods, and then was like, haha, that didn't happen. He's obsessed with scaring people. And he's mad because no one will publish his experiments. No one will accept his experiments because they're like, this is unethical. And then he has like this rival, and in high school or college or whatever, what they would do was they would scare young girls. So girls would be walking in the dark and they would crouch real low and they'd like charge after them screaming, pretending that they were going to hurt them, and then be like, haha, joking, tell me how you felt during that. Fern is like every other main character where the main protagonist is a girl. She investigates alone, all by herself, never wanting anyone's help. She sticks her nose into business that does not belong to her. She lies. She goes to places that she's not supposed to be. She pretends she's someone else just so she can get information. It never ever works. She whines a lot. She complains a lot. And she makes really stupid decisions. Why are women in these things always portrayed as stupid idiots? Ignoramuses, if you will. Now we get to the actual review part. And I feel guilty because in the acknowledgements, the lady was so nice. So I'm gonna put my favorite quotes that I screenshotted before I even saw this acknowledgement. I was waiting for the twist. I was reading this book and I kept waiting for the twist and it just didn't happen. Maybe it's because I have read so many thriller books and watched so many thriller movies in my life that when they try to subtly mention something, like a picture on the wall or an obsession with the woods, I hyperfixate on that until I'm like, okay, well, this is the logical answer as to why they're fixating on that, because they wouldn't if it wasn't important. In my opinion, this book was extremely predictable. I had several theories and all the theories were correct. I didn't even stop reading to piece it all together. Like, I was reading along and in my mind it was like, this is what happened, this will happen. I feel kind of guilty for not liking this book, but I don't like it. I think, again, part of it has to do with the fact that it's in first person, and I hate first person. There are very few books where I actually like when the book is in first person. This was not one of them. Girl in Pieces essentially is a book about this girl named Charlie, and she struggles with self-harm and she's had a lot of trauma, and it's basically navigating her life as she tries to rebuild herself and come back from the things that have happened to her. This book is young adult, and a lot of people disagree with this. They say that this book is very triggering and not suitable for children, and I agree with that. I do not think that children should be reading this book. Self-harm is a very serious thing. When I was reading this, it literally felt like a how-to guide. You really want to give that to children? Because children are curious. I can only imagine if someone read this book, then they too were easily influenced, you know? And then some people can say, well, kids self-harm, that is true. And some people can say, well, this book can help them relate. I think this book, you know, it is relatable in what she's saying, but also anything you do to hurt yourself is bad. It doesn't matter what it is. Anything you do to hurt yourself is bad. In this book, it almost was like, yeah, but Charlie's is worse than everyone's. Charlie is hardcore. I distinctly remember there being some sort of scene where there's some girl and she literally says, I thought I was bad, or I thought I was messed up, or something like that. And something about mental illnesses is that they can be very competitive. It's like, who has it worse? Who has the worst trauma? Who deals in the most dangerous, self-destructive ways? You know, it's always this competitive thing. And I wish it wasn't like that, but that's just the reality. Who has it worse out of this entire disorder? Because it's like, if I can never get better, I may as well just get worse. And that's very dangerous. This person then said, I felt like there was no plot in the book. If there was, I couldn't see. It was just all over the place. In my mind, the reason why it's called Girl in Pieces is because her mind is frazzled. Physically, she's in pieces, but her mind is like scattered. And the reason why the book is like this is because her mental state is not clear. Another thing I wanted to talk about was a lot of people say it romanticizes relationships between a minor and an adult. Because in the book, she's like, 16? And she meets this guy and he's like almost 30. I distinctly remember people in the book saying that this was wrong. I don't feel like it's romanticizing it because people are saying that it's wrong. People are saying this is an illegal offense. He should not be doing this. What does he want with you? If everyone was being like, oh, this is fine, you know, he just wants to save you, let him save you, and everyone was agreeing with that, then it would be romanticizing, but it's not. That's what I really wanted to talk about, because I've been thinking about this book for a while, and I didn't want to make an entire video on it, because let's read the final book now. The Scarlet Letter. It was free on the ebook thing, so it's... Is that a crack? Oh great, I've cracked the back of it. That's wonderful. It's like 130 pages, so... Okay, so I've nowhere near finished the book, The Scarlet Letter. I have 2 minutes left. My screen is so dirty and I apologize for that. But while we wait for the timer to go off, I wanted to discuss... I would recommend it to people who are interested in like sin, the nature of sin back then. People who enjoy seeing punishment for sin. I don't know. It's historical fiction, I think. I don't really know what else there is to say. Guys, I have 1 minute left of this challenge. I don't want to do it anymore. I'm sick of reading. I think it's raining, which is good because I saw my friends yesterday. I know, right? I have friends. And I did some shopping and everything, but I just need several days now to recover. Especially considering on Saturday, I'm gonna have to play hostess. I'm gonna watch Criminal Minds. What's there Survivors on? Done. I watch Australian Survivor because I am Australian, but this could be a very controversial opinion. I'm gonna make it anyway. I think the American Survivor is better, and Survivor was better back in the olden days when people were literally focused on winning challenges and it wasn't all so like political and... Okay, that's it. I'm going now. Goodbye.